Y'all, here we go. We getting closer to Halloween, so we got a new comic book recap because there is a new babysitter in Riverdale. This bitch name is Jinx, and she be reading the fairy tales to the kids. But as you see in the titles, they're grim fairy tales. And as we all know, grim fairy tales opposed to Disney fairy tales are two different stories. So let's get into this quick story. So Jinx arrives at her next babysitting gig, and she's trying to raise money for her guitar. And when you're a teenager, when your parents don't give you the money, you gotta find creative ways to make the money yourself. So she's babysitting the Hilson kids, and as you see, the Hilson kids have money, but of course, when they got money, their parents don't got control. Cause if these was my kids, asses would have been whooped. So Jinx walks in there, she's like, y'all hoes is doing way too motherfucking much. So she snatches them up and she's like, come on, time to sit down, story time. And whenever kids aren't allowed to do what they want to do, chaos. They be making up lies like, when our parents are home or when our mom's home, they let us do that. And it's like, motherfucker, you lying. You need to get popped just for lying. So Jinx snatched their ass up and sits them down and she's like, bitch, story time. And since Jinx have watched them before, they love her stories. Her storytelling is kind of like legendary in Riverdale. The bitch is like a soothsayer. So Jinx gets out her mystical book of fairy tales and she's like, let's start this story. This is the legendary tale of the monkey paw. True story, I have read and listened to the audio version, and I have always loved the monkey paw short story since I was in middle school. My grandma used to always get me onto that old shit. So the story begins and we're introduced to Susie, who is having a badass day. A guy at her job named Gregory, he got the promotion that she worked hard for. On top of that, her mama's sick and without a job because all of her medical bills. And that promotion that Susie up there was rightfully due for would have probably gave her a raise to keep her ahead with her mother's medical bill. Because her mother's a bitch is sick. And her love life is DOA, which is something we have in common, but that's another story for another time. So she's crying, drinking her little self-care milkshake, and then this girl approaches. And yes, it's our bitch Jinx, the babysitting storyteller, who has to put herself as one of the main characters in her own story. Because if she won't, who will? Question of the day. And Jinx invites her to stop by one of the mystical shops that she works at, because Jinx is all about getting her money. And Jinx gives you very bohemian, we are the granddaughters of the witches we couldn't burn type tea. I know, cringy enough. So the next evening, Katie's like, I don't got shit to lose. So she goes to the shop. And Jinx was like, I'm glad I gave you my business card because when I felt your energy, your shit was all broken. Pretty much, bitch, you was a hot mess. So Katie starts telling Jinx she just wishes and wants better for herself. She don't need no sage wood spray or no good vibes playlist. She needs change. And even though Jinx says she hesitates to show her this item, she still does it anyway. And she pulls out from a locked box the cursed, because even in the original, it was a cursed monkey's paw. But despite the curse, whoever has the hand gets 3 wishes. But as we know in real life and in fairy tales, all magic comes with a price. Her back is against the wall and she don't got nothing else to lose. However, you already know, when you don't got shit to lose, you got everything to gain. Good and bad, may I say. So yeah, Jinx warns her about the monkey paw, but of course, Jinx is kind of showing her anyway because Jinx, you really don't care. You're just trying to warn her to have your morality clause. Like, I warned you, but you did it anyway, and I won't tell you no. And you could just tell that Katie's a desperate soul, because as you see, everything she ever wanted is she's seeing in her eyes. But if you go over here to Jinx, you seeing chaos and destruction, because there's a fine line and there's a gray area between wants and needs. So that night is where everything began. Katie takes the monkey paw, she goes home, she leaves it in a book bag, she falls asleep because the bitch is tired. In more ways than one, may we say. And as she's going to sleep, she's saying her prayers or whatever out loud and what she wants to happen, but she doesn't realize is words have power, especially when you have a device that grants wish. So the words that you're weaving out loud are the results that you're going to have to answer for. So as she's drifting off to sleep, she's like, I wish my mom was better, which is good. However, everything comes with a price. And she is jolted up. And a monkey comes tearing through the walls to signify that the wish has been granted. It's like a demonic, chaotic ghost monkey. Every time she makes a wish, it looks like it's about to attack her, but before it gets to her, it disappears. Kind of just like her wish, which is kind of like a metaphor for her wish. You see how the monkey's jumping towards her? Right before it's about to attack, it goes away. You see, she assumed she was going to get attacked, but it fell short. It became something different. It didn't attack her as she thought the monkey. That's going to be the metaphor for her wishes. They're going to happen, but there's always that little twist at the end. So she panicking and she jumps up in a cold sweat. Her phone is ringing, so she answers the phone and it's her mom. And what do you know? Her mom got discharged from the hospital with a clean bill of health. However, even though she's happy that her mother's healed, all of a sudden her mother switches up because Katie lives in the next town over from her mother. And her mother reads the fuck out of her and's like, I know Riverdale is just another town away, but it was real inconsiderate for you to leave me for your little school. Between you and me, that's that bullshit and gaslighting parent shit. A requirement of being your child is not always that the children have to take care of you. And the mother's like, bitch, you're so selfish and I never want to see you again. So as you see, the price of the wish, her mother got her health back, but she lost her relationship with her mother. Has she learned yet? No, because then we wouldn't have a plot for the story, not to break the fourth wall. So the next day she's at work, miserable per usual because it's work. And she, she's talking out loud but saying nothing, but she doesn't realize her words have power. So she's like, she's browsing on her phone. I wish I had someone, anyone. Be careful what you wish for, because now she got a match for a blind date. And this bitch is all googly eyes. And now that she feel like hot shit, she gets home and makes another wish. Okay, so now our bitch Kim, she got a date. She thinks she hot shit. Now you see her, she's in the icebox looking in like something else magically is gonna appear. I mean, in this case, it probably could. But for most of us, we'll go to the icebox many times within the day, expecting new shit to appear, and we just go in, open, close, for no reason. Why do we do that? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, she's looking for some new food, I guess, to magically appear, and there's a little fly that's bothering. You know when you're annoyed by something small like a fly buzzing around your ear, and it'll cause you to start remembering all your little annoyances all piling up just from this one fly? I've been there. So once again, she doesn't watch her words and she says, if only I had gotten that promotion, I just wish Von Douche wasn't in the spot ahead of me. And like I always say, be careful the words you speak, because words to an extent are spelled. And as she's finding out, just like that, she spoke the words into the air and she spoke them into existence. Boom. And the ghost monkey appears and he's like, then he will die. And she's panicking because now you're writing a check that your ass can't cash. And now she's like, no. But you spoke those words. It's kind of like how I say to people in real life. Once you speak those words, sorry and stuff doesn't always bring them back. And this demonic monkey, he's flourishing in that because he gets to kill now. However, as you see in her panic state of fear and regret and remorse of what she says her third wish. I wish I never saw the monkey's paw. And boom, it disappears. The end. Just kidding, I'd be pissed as fuck if I ended that shit like that. So it's the next morning, and she's bringing her boss coffee after she just comes out of the bathroom. Now, as you see from that talking box, it's left up to the audience interpretation. Did she have that coffee with her in the bathroom? Did she poop in the coffee? Or did she just give him a fresh pot of coffee after she came out the bathroom? I don't know why that detail is needed, but hey, I didn't write it. And she brings her new boss coffee, but you see how in the smoke there's a picture of the monkey because its essence is still around. The chaos it caused is still around. Because remember, this is the employee that got the promotion over her. So it very much so could be shit in that motherfucking call as her kind of revenge other than killing, which is what the monkey was about to do. Later on, she tells Jinx everything that happened and how she wished the monkey's paw away and she haven't seen it since. And it's gone for her forever because she says she wished she never saw the monkey's paw. And then she leaves because she has a date. She goes to the restaurant to meet her date and guess who it is? It was her boss, the one that passed her up in the promotion. And as the two begins to talk, Jinx is watching from far away and she realizes her wish did come true. The monkey paw is blinded from her sight, but not her life.